أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. These are the first 5 verses of Surat-Al-Alaq, or Surah Iqra as we usually call it. These were the first 5 verses that were revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was the first wahi. These first 5 verses of Surat-Al-Alaq or Surat-Al-Iqra, these are the first verses and the first wahi and the first revelation that came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, in some hadith, we find that there's one narration, I think it's Jabir radiallahu anhu narrates, that the first verses to come to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam were the verses of Surat-ul-Humazah, the opening verses of Surat-ul-Humazah. Then we find there's another hadith, another narration of, I think, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, in which it says the first verses that were revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam were those of Surat-ul-Fatiha. Now, if a person, without studying with a teacher and studying in the correct manner, just accept the books of hadith, and he looks at it, he put himself in trouble. Because you'll see 3 different hadiths. You'll see one hadith that the Sahaba, and majority of the Sahaba are saying that the first verses revealed are the verses of Surah Iqra. Then you'll see another hadith in which it says that the first verses are those of Surat-ul-Humazah. And then you'll see a third hadith in which it says that the first verses are those of Surat-al-Fatiha. So a person who put himself in trouble, that's why it's important that you learn and you take knowledge from the Ustad. This deen is about isnad, it comes from heart to heart. And that is how deen is taught. It's not that a person just picks up a book. That's why, you find, mashallah, and people have the shop, where you find individuals home, that you have Sahih Bukhari in English, Sahih Muslim in English. Nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is that just don't pick up the hadith and then say, Surah Mudassir, and then you're going to fight with people don't Iqra, what we learn in Madrasa is wrong. You say that Iqra was the first verses, Iqra, no. The hadith says Mudassir was the first verses, or Fatiha was the first verses. That's why it's important that you learn from a teacher, and you understand from a teacher. So the ulama have mentioned that it's not, it's just the way we interpret it. The first verses unanimously were those of Surah Iqra. These first 5 verses. Iqra bismi until علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. These are the first 5 verses that were revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this basically signals the prophethood, the start of the prophethood of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now after these verses were revealed, for a period of 3 years, no wahi came. No revelation came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And thereafter, the verses of Surat-ul-Humazah, in which Allah told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have to get up and warn the people. Those were the verses that were revealed. So when the Sahabi says that the first verses were revealed were Surat-ul-Humazah, he means the first verses after the wahi had stopped. So the wahi had stopped, according to the commentators, for nearly 3 years. So after 3 years, when the first wahi came, those were the verses of Surat-ul-Humazah. Now with regards to the hadith that Ali radiallahu anhu relates that Surah Fatiha was the first verses, that means the first complete surah. The first complete surah that was revealed was Surah Fatiha. Because in Surah Iqra, the complete surah was not revealed at one time, only the first 5 verses. Surah Mudassir also, only the first 2 verses were revealed. So when Ali says that the first verses revealed were those of Surah Fatiha, it means that the first complete surah that was revealed were the verses of Surah Al-Fatiha. That's why it's very important that we understand is that, and you'll find many hadiths that one hadith will say something, another one will have, but that's because the interpretation is different, and you have to learn from a teacher and understand what the meaning and message really is. So these are unanimously and agreed upon by all the ulama and all the scholars and all the Sahaba, the first verses that were revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These opening 5 verses of Surat-Al-Alaq. Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi has in his kitab Sahih al-Bukhari, the very first hadith in that kitab is the hadith إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, the hadith which teaches us about the importance of rectifying our intention. And then after that, Imam Bukhari has a chapter titled كيف كان بدء الوحي إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. How did the wahi and the revelation came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And in that chapter, there's the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, quite lengthy hadith, in which she explains how the first verses were revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the reaction of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Inshallah, I'll just try to summarize this very quickly. Aisha radiallahu anha says that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the first indication of wahi was that he would see, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would see dreams that were shown to him in the morning, that became true. And he would see a dream in the night, and then the next morning Mr. Falak is just like how you could see the brightness of the day, and the brightness of the day lights up everything. And the next day, the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would see the dream in front of him. Basically, he would see something at night, the next day it would happen, the next day it would occur. And the commentators have also said that this was like basically the first sign, and this was to create a munasabat, a compatibility with the wahi that would come afterwards. The wahi is going to be something different, something that was unique, never experienced before. So to create a compatibility with this, certain things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made happen first. So that was one, that he would see dreams, and the next day it would come true. Along with that, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he would walk in the streets, and the trees and the leaves of the trees would be saying salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the rocks would be saying salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He says that this was taking place, then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had this yearning to spend time in solitude, in privacy, that he would go to Ghar Hira. Now Ghar Hira is a cave in the mountain Nur, Jabal Nur, is in Jabal Nur, a cave in Jabal Nur in Makkah al-Mukarramah. So in this mountain of Nur, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would go into that cave. It is known as Hira, Ghar Hira. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would go in Ghar Hira, and he would spend time in solitude, in privacy, alone. The commentators have mentioned that, subhanallah, when we look perhaps, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam chose Ghar Hira, why did he choose Ghar Hira? Why did he not choose any other cave? Now Ghar Hira is situated in such a place that from there Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would be able to see the Kaaba. He would be able to see the Baytullah, the house of Allah. So he would go and he would spend time in solitude in Ghar Hira. And the commentators say that what Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would do was that he would take his food and his provisions that he would need, and he would go and he would spend time there. Then when these provisions would run out, then he would go back home again. Hazrat Khadija radiallahu anha, his wife, she would once again prepare, basically in our terminology, the lunch box. And then he would take that and once again go and spend time in solitude. When the provisions would run out, then he would come back down, and this would continue. In this time, in this period when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spent in solitude, he would worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to however Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have inspired him to worship Allah azza wa jal. Now one day while Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was in the Ghar Hira, the cave of Hira, the angel Jibreel alayhi salatu was salam came. And angel Jibreel alayhi salatu was salam came, and he said that Iqra. First thing he said was Iqra. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam responded that Ma ana biqari, that I cannot recite. Iqra means to read. He said I cannot recite. So the hadith it comes that Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam hugged me. He pulled me towards him and he hugged me. And he hugged me so much that I started to feel a little pain. Then he let me go. Then again he said Iqra. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam again said Ma ana biqari, I cannot read. Again he held me and he pulled me towards him, he hugged me tightly until I could feel some pain. Then he let me go. The third time he did the same thing, Iqra, I said no, I can't, Ma ana biqari. Again he pulled me towards him, he hugged me tightly until I could feel pain, and then he let me go. Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, Ibn Hajar rahmatullahi alayhi, and the other commentators have said that there's wisdom behind Jibreel alayhi salam hugging Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And one of the wisdoms they mentioned was that, the anwarat and the barakat and the special nur that the angel would possess, this would transfer from the angel to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So then, the next time, Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam then said, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, khalaqa al-insana min 'alaq, Iqra wa rabbuka al-akram, alladhi 'allama bil qalam, 'allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. He recited these verses. And as these verses were recited, then he went away. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, now, this was the first time that he had seen something like this. This was something strange. And he quickly ran home. and he was shivering. He was shivering, out of fear. A person his great fear, he started to shiver, he started to feel a little cold. So he was shivering, and then he came to Khadija radiallahu anha and he said, Zammiluni, that cover me, I'm frightened. So she brought a chadar, a blanket, and she covered Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لَقَدْ خَشِيتُ عَلَى نَفْسِي, I fear for my life. And the commentators have mentioned that this fear was due to the great responsibility that was now delegated and placed on the shoulders of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then this was an unusual event, and he had seen an angel now for the first time in this manner. This is something unusual, unique, never experienced before. So he said, Zammiluni, cover me, لَقَدْ خَشِيتُ عَلَى نَفْسِي, I fear for my life. So right away, subhanallah, Khadija radiallahu anha, she expressed a statement and said that, كَلَّا وَاللَّهِ مَا يُزِيكَ اللَّهُ أَبَدًا, that, oh Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you don't need to fear about your life. No one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never disgrace you or bring about evil upon you. And then she explained the merits and some of the beautiful qualities of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. إِنَّكَ لَتَصِلُ الرَّحِمَ وَتَحْمِلُ الْكَلِّ وَتَقْلِ الضَّيْفَ وَتُعِينُ عَلَى نَوَائِبِ الْحَقِّ. She explained some of the qualities of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that you are the one who joins family ties. You are the one who looks after the poor and needy. You fulfill the obligations of those who have difficulties upon them. You do all these things, O Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So a person of your a'la sifat and your great quality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never disgrace that person. And then she went to her cousin brother, Waraqa ibn Nawfal. And she went to Waraqa ibn Nawfal and she related the incident to Waraqa ibn Nawfal, that my husband has come home and he has said all of these things. Waraqa ibn Nawfal called Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He went and he asked him, tell me what happened. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam explained to Waraqa ibn Nawfal the whole incident. That Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam came, angel came, and he did this to me. Now Waraqa ibn Nawfal, he was living in Arabia, but he was a Christian. He had adopted the religion of the time. And it says that at that time he was very old, he was elderly in age, and he was also blind. And what he used to do was that he used to write and translate the divine scriptures of the time into Arabic. So he was a person knowledgeable of the things of Nabuwa, of prophethood, and these type of things. So he knew of these things. So Khadija radiallahu anha, when she took Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he explained the whole story. He said that this is the same Jibreel, the same message that came to Musa. This is the same Jibreel that has come to you, O Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the same angel that came to Musa, the same angel has come to you. And then he said that if Allah gives me a long life, and I am alive at the time when your people throw you out, then I will support you, I will come and help you. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was amazed, because up until that point he was known as Al-Amin, he was known as As-Sadiq, people used to respect him, they loved him so much. So he asked the question that, will it happen that my people will throw me out? So Waraqa ibn Nawfal said yes, that no person has ever come with this type of message, but then he has been thrown out. That you will find it, that's the history of the Anbiya, that whenever they come with the message, their people go against them, so it will happen to you. But if I am alive and Allah spares me life, then I will help you when that time comes. And he says that after a while, a few days after Waraqa ibn Nawfal, he passed away though. So then, this was the first wahi and the first revelation that came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he said that after a period of some 3 years, then the next revelation came. And then after that, the revelation came one after the other. And the next revelation that came then was the ayahs of Surah Muddathir, which Allah then commanded Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that now is the time that you get up and you warn the people. And the first obligation was وَأَنْذِرَ الشِّيرَةَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ, that now you go and your qareeb al-ishtidar, your close relatives, you go and you call them to the message and oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shall we continue tomorrow's gathering? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us understanding. As we said, وَأَخِرْ دَعْوَانَ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. وَأَشْهَدُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ أَسْتَغْفِرُكَ وَأَتُوبُ إِلَيْكَ.